Hi everyone, today's lesson is going to be about divisibility rules. Let's start by trying to understand what does the word divisible mean. A number is divisible by another if the quotient is a whole number and the remainder is zero. What does this mean? If I ask you if I divide the number 6 by 2, what will the quotient be? The quotient is going to be a 3 and the remainder is 0. So the number 6 is divisible by the number 2 because I have no leftovers. Now if we move on to the number 9 divided by 2, if I divide the number 9 by 2, I'm going to get a whole number that's 4 and I'm going to get a remainder that is a 1. So I will have leftovers over here. This means that the number 9 is not divisible by 2. So if the remainder is 0, it's going to be divisible. If I have a remainder other than 0, it's not going to be divisible. What's the divisibility rule for number 2? A number is divisible by 2 if the last digit is even. Even numbers are 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. For example, is the number 97 divisible by 2? You look at the last digit. The last digit is a 7. It's not an even number, so the number 97 is not divisible by 2. If I move on to another number, which is 614, go to the last digit, it's a 4. 4 is one of these even numbers, so the number 614 is divisible by 2. 2190, go to the last digit, it's a 0. 0 is an even number, so this number is divisible by 2. Last example, 65,806, go to the last digit, it's a 6. 6 is one of the even numbers, so this number is divisible by 2. Meaning that if you divide any of these three numbers by 2, you are not going to get any leftovers. The remainder will be 0. Rule for number 3. A number is divisible by 3 if the sum means I'm going to add something of its digits, so I'll add the digits, make up a number that is divisible by 3. Example, you have the number 135 and you need to find out whether it's divisible by 3. First thing you need to do is to add its digits. So 1 plus 3 plus 5. That is going to be 4 plus 5, 9. Now take this number 9 and divide it by 3. 9 divided by 3 is going to give me a remainder 0. So it is divisible by 3, then the whole number 135 is going to be divisible by 3. Let's look at another example. 5012. Start by adding the digits and skip the 0. 5 plus 1 plus 2. 5 plus 1 is a 6. 6 plus 2 is an 8. If you divide the number 8 by 3, you're going to get a remainder other than 0, meaning that it's not divisible by 3, so the whole number 5012 is not divisible by 3. Let's move on to 81,234. Start by adding the digits, 8 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. Try to find out numbers that make up a 10. 8 plus 2 is a 10, plus 3, 13, plus 4, 17, plus 1, it's going to be an 18. If I take this number 18 and divide it by 3, this is going to give me a 6, remainder 0. Since the remainder 0 over here, 18 is divisible by 3, so the whole number 81,234 is divisible by 3. Now what's the rule for number 4? A number is divisible by 4 if the last two digits make up a number that is divisible by 4. What does this mean? 104. I am going to look at the last two digits, 0, 4, as if I'm saying I have the number 4. And if you divide 4 by 4, you're going to get a remainder 0. So this number will be divisible by 4. 6,232. Look at the last two digits. If you divide 32 by 4, you're going to get an 8, remainder 0. So the remainder is 0, then this number is divisible by 4. Let's move on to 4,567. 67, if you're not sure whether this number is divisible by 4 or not, all you have to do is to divide the number 67 by 4. 6 divided by 4 is a 1. 1 times 4 is a 4. Subtract 2. Drop down the 7. 27 divided by 4 is a 6. 6 times 4 is a 24. And you subtract. That's a 0 and that's a 3. So over here I have a remainder 3. Then this number 67 cannot be divisible by 4, so the whole number 4,567 is not divisible by 4. Let's move on to 54,896. Take the last two digits and check what will happen when we divide them by 4. 96 divided by 4. 9 divided by 4 is a 2. 2 times 4 is an 8. Subtract, it's a 1, and drop down the 6. Now 16 divided by 4 is going to be a 4. 4 times 4 is a 16. I'm going to subtract 0. The remainder over here is 0, which means what? 96 is divisible by 4, then the whole number over here is going to be divisible by 4. Rule for number 5. A number is divisible by 5 if the last digit is either a 0 or a 5. So let's look at the first example. 207, look at the last two digit, it's a 7. It's not a 0, not a 5, so 207 is not divisible by 5. 7,105, look at the last digit, it's 5, so the whole number is divisible by 5. Look at the next number, 31,809, last digit is 9. It's not a 0, not a 5, so this number cannot be divisible by 5. 695,310, last digit is a 0, so the whole number is divisible by 5. Now, rule for number 6. A number is divisible by 6 if it is divisible by both 2 and 3. What does this mean? If I have the number 104, I will ask myself, is this number divisible by 2? The last digit is 4, which is an even number, so yes, it's divisible by 2. Is this number divisible by 3? Add the digits 1 plus 4, skipping the 0, that will be a 5. If you divide the number 5 by 3, you're going to get a remainder that's not a 0, so the number is not divisible by 3. Since number 104 is only divisible by 2 and not by 3, it cannot be divisible by 6. Let's check the number 6,132. Is it divisible by 2? The rule says check the last digit, that's a 2, it's an even number, so yes, it is divisible by 2. If I need to check if it's divisible by 3, add the digits together, and this is going to be 6 plus 1, 7, plus 3 is 10, plus 2 is 12. If you divide the number 12 by 3, you're going to get a 4, remainder 0. So yes, it is divisible by 3. Then this number is divisible by 2 and by 3, then it's definitely going to be divisible by 6. 501. Let's check if it's divisible by 2. The last digit here is 1. It's not one of the even numbers, so it's not divisible by 2. I don't even need to check if it's divisible by 3. Then this number is not going to be divisible by 6. 10,110. Is this number divisible by 2? The last digit is a 0, which is an even number, so yes, it is divisible by 2. Is it divisible by 3? Add the digits without the zeros. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is going to be a 3. And 3 divided by 3 is a 1, remainder 0. So this number is also divisible by 3. Then definitely the number 10,110 is divisible by 6. So a number must be divisible by both by 2 and by 3. Let's check the rule for the number 9. What does it say? A number is divisible by 9 if the sum of its digits make up a number that is divisible by 9. The rule for number 9 is very similar to the rule of number 3, but instead of checking the 3 times table, I'll check the 9 times table. For example, if I have the number 234, what am I going to do? Start by adding the digits. 2 plus 3 plus 4, that's going to be a 9. So 2 plus 3 plus 4 is going to be a 9. And if you divide the 9 by 9, it's going to be a 1, remainder 0. So the number 9 is divisible by 9, then the number 234 will be divisible by 9. Let's check the number 1007. For the number 1007, start by adding the digits without the zeros. 1 plus 7 is going to be an 8. If you divide the number 8 by 9, you're going to get a 0, remainder 8. So the remainder is 8 over here. Then we have a remainder other than 0. Then it cannot be divisible by 9. Let's check the number 80,001. Add its digits. 8 plus 1 is going to be a 9. If you divide the number 9 by 9, it's going to be a 1 remainder 0. Since the remainder is 0, then it is going to be divisible by 9. Let's check the last number, 21,035. Add the digits. 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 5. If I add them together, 2 plus 1 is a 3, plus 3 is a 6, 6 plus 5 is an 11. If you divide the number 11 by 9, you're going to get a remainder 2. So this 11 is not divisible by 9, then the whole number over here is not divisible by 9. Let's check what's the divisibility rule for number 10. A number is divisible by 10 if the last digit is a 0. So if I have, for example, the number 654, I'm going to look at the last digit. Is it a 0? No, so this number is not divisible by 10. Let's have a look at 7,390. Look at the last digit. Is it a 0? Yes, so this number is divisible by 10. Let's look at the next number, 56,873. What's the last digit? It's 3. It's not a 0, so this number is not divisible by 10. Let's look at this number, 543,740. Look at the last digit. Is it a 0? Yes, then it is definitely divisible by 10. That's our lesson for today. Thank you for listening and see you soon.